Welcome to the Morning Report on Trib Live Radio, brought to you by Mama Peppino's Pizza, Pub, and Billiards. With the newly added billiard room, enjoy 3,000 square feet of dedicated space for pool tables. I'm Mike Graw, alongside Kevin Gorman, filling in on this rainy Monday morning in the Trib Live Radio studios on Pittsburgh's North Shore. KG, wild Bucco game yesterday. Buccos snap a 3-game losing streak, an 18-inning marathon. Oh, what could have been one pitch away from ending this thing in 9. Instead, we get a 5.5-hour marathon.
It was unbelievable to watch, and watch I did. And kind of the interesting twist to the whole thing is that the game is extended on a home run, a pinch hit home run by Daniel Murphy, and ended by John Neese. And both guys were kind of central to the whole Neil Walker deal.
Absolutely.
Then Murphy's departure from the New York Mets, and then Neese being the piece the Pirates received in return. So a couple interesting twists there. But, yeah, what a game to watch, and just so many twists and turns and so many chances for the Pirates to finish it. But I think it was very important that they did, that they avoided a sweep, and that they made up some ground in the standings.
Yeah, absolutely. And got to give at least a tip of the hat to Dusty Baker for helping out, pitching to Starling Marte when Clint Hurdle has no available batters left on his bench. John Neese, in his third, through
deck.
2 innings of relief, sitting on deck, Dusty Baker took blame afterwards, saying he didn't get his 4 fingers up fast enough to signal for the intentional walk that he would have got it in for the second pitch, but Starling Marte took Oliver Perez deep on the first pitch, so Dusty never had that chance. You got to think,
That's a big gaff.
That's a big gaff
Yeah,
by
it
Dusty
is.
Baker, but it can't just be on him. I mean, the catcher, I think it was still Wilson Ramos at that time, and Oliver Perez. Both had these aren't young guys. They have to be aware of the situation as well.
And Marte was responsible for driving in the Pirates' first run as well, with a double that scored Adam Frazier. So, that was the one guy you didn't want to pitch to, given the circumstances, especially. And Marte, living up to the All-Star billing at this point, and just really being the catalyst for the Pirates. And that was, as soon as he hit that ball hit the bat, I mean, it was gone. You could tell. Yeah. You could tell that he had driven that deep, and
he had enough. He was ready to go home.
Well, they all had, and there were actually 5 Pirates who played all 18 innings, and so these guys are getting a very well-deserved day off today.
Would have been very disappointing to play all that time and not come away with the victory, but come away with the victory the Pirates did, and lost in all of that mix with the marathon and John Neese going 3. And by the way, in the process, joining Jeff Locke for the team lead with 8 wins on the season, if you're still looking at pitchers' win-loss records as a measure of any sort of performance, which you should have stopped doing that a while ago. But regardless, it's almost... You almost forget about how good Chad Kuhl and, for that matter, Max Scherzer were. But Chad Kuhl, 7 innings of one-hit ball, I believe, ended up being his final line. I mean, just impressive stuff from him.
And then, Chad Kuhl, in his defense, had Melanson not given up that home run to Daniel Murphy, Chad Kuhl then could have outdueled both Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer and 2 of his, how many professional starts? 4?
Yeah.
3 or 4 professional starts. So, I mean, that would have been a real tip of the cap to him. But I thought he was excellent yesterday, especially against that lineup. And, that's a strong start for the Pirates to get that type of performance. It's a shame they had to go so deep into the bullpen. And the thing that's disturbing about it, though, is that Andrew McCutchen, 0 for 8. That's the one thing. At what point, now, he moved back to second in the batting order, but at what point do you keep him up that high in the order when he's batting 244, and this prolonged slump is becoming something of a concern? I was thinking that maybe he had snapped out of it with the way he finished the first half, but to have an 0 for 8 and to see him, hit into double plays where he wasn't able to beat the throw to first, those are some things to me that are some signs of concern.
Not very Kutch-like. Sure to be much speculation on his future coming up in the days and months to come. We're going to have much more on the Buccos in this series with the Nationals over the weekend. Look ahead to coming back home to PNC Park for a 3-game set against the Milwaukee Brewers. And on a relatively slow sports weekend, Kevin and I will be breaking down everything that went on a magical day at Royal Troon for the Open Championship, eventually won by Henrik Stenson in a very memorable duel with Phil Mickelson. This is the Morning Sports Report on Trib Live Radio.